Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about Vallejo color shift paints, aka the shifters, and I will also be giving some tips and tricks that I learned along the way by using them for the last year. And we're starting right now. Vallejo color shift paints come in a wide variety of colors and effects. And some of the paints in the bottle itself have a different color too. By experimenting, I learned some cool tricks you can do with that. With the Vallejo color shift paints, there's a lot more you can do instead of only painting it on the black surface. If we look at the paints that are in the bottle itself, so not looking towards the colors pictured on the bottle, but the paints itself, like this pink, white and brownish color, that is actually the color that you will get when you would spray this on a white base. So that can be very interesting to use as well, and it also gives you an idea what to expect. For example, what I did on this shed. So as you can see, there is this pink hue on the body, and that is the Vallejo color shift red to gold. And when the light hits it, it actually turns gold. So it still shifts, even though it's on a white base, it still shifts color. So that means we can use different tones of colors on white bases as well. If we want a pink, a purple, a gold, or a dark green effect that still color shifts, you can use these on a white base. And then you're gonna get a color shift, but you're also adding a color to that white already. Here's an example. So I left the back of this lure white. And as you can see, therefore it really stays nice and warm violet. But there's also color shift going on in there, as you can see. Really makes it interesting to play with these color shifts. So you can give your white a different color, but still have a color shift in there. Here I did the same. But here I only left the tip of the scales a little bit white. So that purple is gonna be a little bit more subtle. But when the light hits it, it gives a really nice color shift. And because it shifts to a greenish color, it's gonna look very natural. And this way we combined a very unnatural color with a natural color, which is a pretty cool lure. And that's another thing you have to take in account with these Vallejo color shift paints. Because it says old gold, and you would expect a gold color, but these pictures on the label of the bottles are actually very accurate. So as you can see, this old goldish color looks actually very greenish on the picture. So that means if you're looking for a certain color, don't focus too much on the description, but focus a lot on the color that is pictured on the bottle. The second category we have are the white paints, and these have white pigments, but they vary a little bit in color. Now these can be used both on white bases and black bases. Now what color can you expect when you're gonna use this on a white base? Well, the first color that's going to be visible is the first color pictured on the picture. As I said before, always focus on the picture, don't focus too much on the description because sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting. But for instance, if you would use that electric blue on a white, you're gonna get that really nice blue sheen on top of a white. And it's not always gonna shine through, because if the light doesn't hit it, it's gonna be white. But once that light hits that white body, where you use this pigment, it's gonna give that blue sheen. And when you change that angle, it's actually still gonna show that violet, which is really nice. And the same goes for all these white paints. They do still color change, but the main color you're gonna see is that first color displayed on the picture. These are really cool to give a white body or a white belly of a fish a different color, make it a little bit more interesting, give that little bit of a color shift in there. For example, I left the tip of these scales white on this lure, and then I sprayed some electric blue to intense violet on there. And that's gonna give that blue sheen to it. So you still got that color shift going on, but when the light doesn't hit it, it's gonna look a little bit more brighter. It's still gonna be white. In this lure, I left the sides a little bit grayish. It's quite light. It's not really a dark base that I used. But as you can see, that blue is really shining through, and when it doesn't hit the light, you still see that little bit of a grayish tone. You can also use these white color shifts on darker backgrounds, such as a moss green from Createx, and that's just gonna add an interesting color shift to the back. So as you can see, it still looks green when the light doesn't hit it, but when the light hits it, you get that color shift. And that's because this white pigment doesn't alter the color that is underneath as much. And then as the last category, we have these brownish colors. Now you can use them on a white base as well, and it's gonna give you a color shift, but it's gonna turn that white base into this brownish color too. So these are always gonna turn your white backgrounds into the color that's inside the bottle. And I don't usually use this brownish color much on a white base, but I do like to use these on darker backgrounds, because then they don't alter the color too much and the color shift is still gonna shine through. Or you can use them on a black base. And here on the gill plates of this lure, I used a little bit of light violet to green, and as you can see, it doesn't alter that green that's behind there too much, but it gives you that nice color shift, that violet onto that gill plate. And that's how you can use these color shifts, but it's not necessary to use them on a black base. So guys, so these were my tips that I learned over the past year using these color shifts, and it's really fun to play with. You can put these on different darker tones of colors or even layer them. You can also put a little bit of a different pearl pigment on top of it to enhance a certain color, and you can make your lures look very interesting or even very realistic and natural by using these color shifts. A lot of fish actually have these color shifting tiny little pigments into their scales or skin, and this is a really great way to represent that and match the hatch, or just to make your lures stand out a little bit and make them a little bit more special than all the rest. As always, I will leave a link in the description below for all the materials that I used in this video, which are in this case mainly the Vallejo color shift paints. This will guide you to my webshop, which is based in Sweden, and if you would buy anything there, you will be supporting me and the channel. And I will also be leaving a link in the description for some of my custom painted lures. So if you would like to own any of my custom painted lures, make sure to check out that link too. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and see you next time. Bye bye!